time to sort out these wibbly wobbly scuffed delaminating number plates. And a first for me, these are put on with more Allen headed bolts. Hopefully not nuts on the back because I can't get to the back. And do you know what? I think there's nuts on the back. I can't actually get my hand underneath the bumper, so to get to the nuts on the back I'm going to have to take the bumper, or loosen it at least. That's irritating. I thought these would just come straight undone, but I guess there's a nut on the back of them. I've got the number plate off, and it's quite awkward because when they've been unable to get in here, because you can see there's no gap up at the top. I suspect there should be. And underneath, similarly, I can't get my fingers in there. So I thought, oh, I'll take this off. Maybe I'll be able to get in through the lower grille. And all that happened there was that screw head rounded off straight away. It was already badly chewed. And I think the others will go exactly the same way if I try. Okay, so you pop the front grille off and you'll be able to get in the bolts from the back. Well, yeah, you can't see them. There's some holes in this valance, and there's one around here where you can't see, and I could just get a spanner in to undo that and the Allen key on the outside. Just about got them off. Of course it's eaten a 10mm socket because this sort of job always does, and I can't see where the bumper actually bolts in, so I don't want to be pulling the car apart for that, but yeah, I thought changing the number plate would be nice and quick and easy. Bit of a faff. I can't really mount the number plate back on the same fixings, partly because I don't want to use the way the previous owner had done it, probably the first owner, but I also can't use the new fixings in these holes because the new fixings are much smaller. So what I've done to start with is I've marked on here where the old number plate bolt holes are, and I'm going to move those probably into the letters, because then I can just use a black cap and it will look like there's no fixings. And once I've drilled this plate, I'll then drill the bumper with the relevant size, and then this will screw straight on, in theory. Okay, did a bit of a trial look at it, and I'm going to go through that part of the P and that part of the F, and that should secure it nicely. The bumper actually curves away underneath, so it's really only this bit's flat and then that bit curves away. So just to keep the number plate looking right, makes more sense to do it near the top. And they only need to be very small holes for this, which is nice. Right, line that up on the car. There's a bit of gaffer tape doubled over, and that will allow me to mark where it sits. The other reason for going fairly close to the edge is this does have a curve to it, so I need to take that into consideration. This panel actually shell up. how well you see it on camera, but a little dot there, a little dot over there. There's no speed control on this drill, it's too old. What date is it? 83. So what I'd forgotten the first time, you spin it up, and as it's slowing down, you put it where you want it, and then you pull the trigger, and that's like a very rudimentary speed control. So, that's our two markings, and now I literally just screw the bumper on. Not the bumper, the number plate. There we go, all screwed down, nice and straight, which the other one wasn't. It's 3mm drill bit to do these holes for the right size. All I need to do now is just close the little black caps on, and that'll be a nice tidy job done. There we go. Looks loads better. Certainly than that scruffy old thing. Let's do the back one.
Now I've got the tailgate panel off, I can show you a bit more clearly what they were doing for the number plate fixings. This bolt here, there's two of these, and that's what holds the number plate on, which is a little bit overkill. But at least access is easier on this one with this panel off.
And as you can see on the back one, it's starting to go around here. So let's pop this off and get the new one on. The way you have to do this is a bit annoying. There's a spanner on the inside, and then I've got the Allen socket thing in a ratchet. I'm shoulder propping up the tailgate so it doesn't drop as I do this. There's not much room on the back to actually move the spanner around, so there's not much point. Go. As number plate solutions go, it's a bit overkill. But it's nice that they took the care to use a washer and a nylock. You know. So they've gone by the principle, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing right. I can appreciate that. Ooh. There's no sense, there's no feeling. This side we're dealing with the wiper motor on the back, so that's kind of in the way. I'll pop this off and then we'll see what we're dealing with behind the panel. That's not too bad, it's nice and rust free. I was a little bit concerned that there might be a little bit of rust bubbling back here, but it's just dirt, remnants of some old pads. Which I'm not going to try and take off, they'll be hidden. And it takes a long time to remove them for no real gain.
Again, there's quite a curve to the panel, so I think I'll probably go through the bottom corner of the P and there on the F, because I've got a lot more panel to deal with, and that will hold that in a lot nicer. There we go. Nice and smart. Only minor annoyance on this one is it bows a tiny bit in the middle. I think one of these shifted as I was screwing it in. Not enough to be a huge problem. I think it'll just mean the water drains quite nicely down the middle. So yeah, it does make a big difference, new plates on a car. You can make the scruffiest old thing look halfway decent. It was bugging me too much. I like things to be right. So what I've done, this screw hole here, I've just slotted it a very tiny amount, and that flattens the plate out across the panel, but it still keeps wanting to pop out in the middle. So I'm using just one sticky, and I'm going to put a sticky in the middle. And with the screws, that will mean it keeps in its place properly. So I put it on horizontally, so we have the maximum contact area for where the problem is. Line up the screw. That's better. Nice and flat. Now I just have to rescue that 10mm from inside the front valance. I like a little victory. That's the 10mm socket. I got lucky. Two of the fixing screws actually came undone, and that allowed the grill to pivot and drop off. I wasn't going to replace this part, but it's had a lot of repairs. It's clearly been smacked at some point. There's a massive plate riveted on this side, and it looks like there's another one just under the bumper there, and it's all cracked. And the valance behind looks alright, but I don't know, maybe they hit a bird or something. They are available, they do pop up every now and then, so I'll see if I can get hold of one. For now, I'm just going to put this one back on the car. It's not a problem for the minute, and it's stable enough. The repair that's been done, it's agricultural, but it works, so there's no need to change anything about that.